Good morning and good afternoon, scholars. It's Miss Miller here with science for today. We've got week 8, day 3. Today we are going to be learning about two new things. Actually, one of them we've talked about before. We've talked about flowers, but we're going to learn about something new called cones. But before we start learning about flowers and cones, I wanted to start with a picture. I'm going to put this up to my computer. I have a beautiful picture of some plants. I want you to think back from what we learned yesterday. Yesterday we learned about different types of plants. We learned about grasses, shrubs, and we learned about trees. What do you think this would be? I'll give you a hint. These plants are shorter, they're smaller than trees, they have woody stems, they have a long life, and they have smaller branches. Do you remember what that word was from yesterday? It's either a tree, a shrub, or grass. Those are shrubs. Very good. So those are what we call shrubs. Shrubs are like a bush. I usually call them bushes, but they're the same thing, bushes and shrubs. But the vocabulary word in science that we are going to use are a shrub. We would call those shrubs. So today, we are going to be learning about flowers and cones. So we're going to be on page 160 in your Learning in Place packet. And the heading says plants with flowers. Some plants have flowers. Flowers make a plant's seeds. So remember when we talked about parts of a plant? We talked about the flowers are important because they make the seeds for the plant. Flowers can grow on small plants. They can also grow on shrubs and trees. Where have you seen flowers? This right here is a hibiscus plant. They are very pretty. They're very tropical. You can find them on beaches. They're very pretty and bright. Right here it says, what do flowers do? So you would write your answer right here. What do flowers do? And if you forget, you can go back up here. It says some plants have flowers. Flowers, make a plant's seeds. So down here, you could write make the plant's seeds. And over here, here's a new word that we have not talked about yet. Cones. When you think about the word cone, what do you think of? The first thing I think of is an ice cream cone. I think of like a triangular shape, a 3D shape, it has points. That's what I think of when I think of a cone. So let's see what we are going to learn about cones with plants. This heading says plants with cones. Some plants have cones. Cones hold a plant's seeds. Cones grow on some trees. Where have you seen cones? So this boy right here, he has a picture. By the way, is this a picture or is this a photograph or an illustration? This would be an illustration because it's a cartoon. It's not a real picture. These down here, those would be photographs. Anyways, so the boy in this illustration is holding a cone. So a cone is a solid shape. It has a point at the end. And they're found on plants, mainly trees, and they hold seeds. So all those points that you see, sometimes if you feel a cone, they're very spiky, they're very sharp. It holds seeds inside. So that's an example of a pine cone. This is a type of cone. This is a pine tree, and inside the tree, there's lots of pine cones hanging, and when they fall down, new seeds are planted. Have you ever seen a cone before? Have you ever held a pine cone? Those pine cones hold seeds inside, which is pretty cool. So how are flowers and cones alike? Can you think? How are they alike? They're very different looking. I mean, this flower, it's bright, it's colorful, it smells good if you were to smell it in real life. Cones are very different. They're pointy, they're not as pretty. And they do have a kind of a smell. Like if it's a pine cone tree, it might have a pine smell. How are they alike? Because they're so different when you look at them. they both make seeds. They both have seeds inside. So that's how they're alike. Some plants have flowers, some plants have cones. So, over here it says active reading. A detail is a fact about the main idea. Draw one line under a detail. Draw an arrow to the main idea it tells about. All that means is, what was this page mostly telling you about? What was the main idea? What was it trying to tell us? It was trying to tell us and teach us that some plants have cones. So you would draw an arrow to the main idea. So I would draw a little arrow like this. I would draw my arrow like that. That's the main idea. Some plants have cones. Then it says, draw one line under a detail. So how do I know that this was telling me some plants have cones? What idea can support that? Well, over here it says cones hold a plant's seeds. Cones grow on some trees. I would underline this part because this is very important. And this supports the main idea. It says some plants have cones. Cones hold a plant's seeds. That tells me exactly what cones are. And some plants have cones. Awesome. Well, I will see you tomorrow for our next lesson on plants. And here's an idea. I would love for you to take a walk if you're allowed to go outside. I know it's kind of hard, you know, with everything going on, but if you can take a look out the window, or if you can walk outside in your backyard or front yard, try to see if you can find some of these plant parts. Can you find a plant that has cones? Can you find some flowers? Can you find, maybe you can find a tree or some shrubs or some grass. Try to find that and describe it. What makes that grass? Is it long? Is it soft? What is it? Is it a shrub? Is it woody? Is it tall?